I don't want to go back to that because I realize we may not be able to. I want us to move on to the political implications of these pronouncements. But before that, let's get an update from our reporter on the streets, Muthoni Brenda. Good morning once again. And what do the people on the streets of Nairobi say about what happened yesterday with the pronouncements by the High Court?
Well, a very good morning to you, Fred Indimuli, and that stellar panel that you have back in studio. And well, Senators Joe Nyoto, Danson Mungatana, and Wakili Harrison Kenyanjui are conducting a legal and political autopsy of the verdict that was released yesterday here in the streets of the capital. Nairobians that we have talked to have told us that they are still struggling to come to terms with how Kenyans are expected to fund these institutional blunder. Now, Fred, I am standing right here in front of a live session from the Bunge la Mwananchi. We had their thoughts yesterday before the judgment hearing. And what better way to make this moment full circle than to get where their mind coordinates are at after yesterday's verdict. Habari yako, good morning.
Good morning.
Acha nikushikie hii.
Shukran. Kwa majina naitwa Vincent Opeli. Mimi kwa maoni yangu kuhusu uamuzi wa koti jana, kuna jambo moja lilijitokeza. Nilishangaa koti imepiga Senate fine ya 50 million. Ile hali wanasema kwamba zile rights za Gachagua hazikuzingatiwa. Kama rights za Gachagua hazikuzingatiwa, ni vipi bado ile hiyo hiyo impeachment bado ilikuwa upheld? Kama rights hazikuzingatiwa, ingekuwa ni vizuri hiyo impeachment ikuwe nullified. Another thing chenye niliona kilijitokeza chenye kilinifurahisha mimi, kuna hili jambo sugu limekuwa limejitokeza mara mingi sana kuhusu public participation. Na koti nilifurahia wakati koti ilisema kwamba public participation, wakati state imefacilitate public participation na watu wa participate hata kama ni wawili ama ni mmoja, so long as the state has facilitated the process, that one quantifies the public participation. Kwa hivyo hayo mawili tu ndio mimi niliona yamenikanganya, na hilo la public participation nilifurahia koti ilifafanua vizuri. In the future, wakati wote kutakuwa na issue ya public participation, I think hakutakuwa na mushkil. Thank you.
Alright, mushkil ni nini?
Mushkil ni shida,
Yeah. Alright, so pale studioni tunaye wakili Harrison Kenyanjui na Senator Danson Mungatana. Na wote wamesema wote wanaenda Court of Appeal. Senate inaenda Court of Appeal, Gachagua anaenda Court of Appeal. Maoni yako ni yapi?
I agree with them because they have their own legal rights to exhaust the judicial procedure. Eh? But now I was a little bit bad up because the court cannot grant a violation of rights. They are saying Gachagua was violated, rights were violated, but they cannot give a remedy of violation of right. But anyway, madam, let me show you two things. That was a political case, at the same time a legal case. So continue have raised a fundamental question in terms of question of plunder that the parliament did. Now, the Senate did. So they've actually plundered and they are bringing Gachagua out of that plunder. They have to stick to the constitution when it comes to impeachment. Whenever there is an impeachment case, either of governor, either of Senate, either of president, they have to stick to constitutional principles and procedure. That is number one. Number two, if it was a political case, I want to tell you that Gachagua has to suffer. Gachagua tutampiga 6-0. Gachagua tutamshinda parliament, tutamshinda kotini, Gachagua tutamshinda Ulkalau, Gachagua tutamshinda general election, Gachagua tutamshinda Supreme Court. 6-0. Thank you very much.
Na wewe maoni yako ni yapi?
On the yesterday postmortem on the Gachagua impeachment, all the due process was undertaken. In fact, the lawyers said that there was no public participation, and actually it was well articulated. It was all that done. Only the blunder only comes on the Senate, whereby they ought to have adjourned the processes, but they did it that much fast. But all the due processes was all articulated, and all the process was all taken as per the law, as per required. So the impeachment of Gachagua was not on the political affiliation, but to me, all the process and the legal process was undertaken as per the law, as per required.
Now my question is this, yes? So the Senate ndio inalipa hii 50 million, but at the end of the day, this money comes from the taxpayers' pockets. Wewe unasikiaje kama Mkenya?
So this is a big blunder on our Senate issue. They ought to have given Gachagua more time for the adjournment so that all the process can take place in an amicable manner. That's where the blunder comes in. Yeah.
And maybe kuna mtu akona a question to our panelists today? Who he has? Okay.
Not a question, but it's a compliment. First of all, I want to correct the members of the Bunge la Mwananchi. As of what happened yesterday, we saw the court ruling, but we were unsatisfied. Why? First of all, if you look on the judgment on that ruling, they said that the Senate, they never met what we call the Senate committee. So there wasn't the Senate committee. Again, Honorable Deputy President Honorable Gachagua was hospitalized in Karen. And actually the proceeding were going on in the Senate.
Okay, now tell you what, we have his lawyer Harrison Kenyanjui in studio. Maybe uko na swali unataka kumuuliza before we wind up?
Swali ni naweza taka kuuliza even the judiciary. If 50 million alipewa, it under which factor? Because we don't really understand, because umempeach Gachagua and at the same time umempea 50 million. So Gachagua, we never wanted 50 million. It's just the clearance of the court and to make sure that the parliamentarians, the parliament and the Senate walifuata the protocol. Hatukatai the impeachment, but was the process legal?
All right, there you have it, Fred Indimuli, and tunangoja hapa kusikia majibu from wakili and from the honorable senators in studio. Back to you, Indimuli.
Thank you so much, Modoni Brenda, and for the stellar work you're doing there, and for that cooperation with the Bunge la Mwananchi. Asanteni sana kwa maoni yenu. And I know we've been